So this video absolutely makes my blood boil. I cannot stand some authoritarian fascist just being a piece of shit. It drives me up the wall when you have some fucking prick who's just pushy and being a dick and continues to be a dick. Chaplinsky decision says you can't call somebody a name because that's fighting words. Well, if you're sitting there threatening people to sick a dog on them, to tase them, to use violence, when a police officer raises their voice, isn't there an implication of violence? Hey, you better listen to me. Let's take a look at this.
This occurred less than a month ago in Volusia County, Florida, involving the Edgewater Police Department, specifically Officer Rippeon, who has worked there since 2022, and so I'm told he's gained quite the reputation.
So, Rippeon, this is from the civil rights lawyer. So, seems like he's a clean-cut guy. Seems like, if you didn't know anything about him, look, he's all right? He's just a guy in uniform, just doing his damn thing. He has a, nice little pleasant smirk there, little smirky little arrogant fuck, right? So little smirky arrogant fuck boy there. He could be all right. If he had any morals, if he had any principles, if he knew the goddamn law. But he doesn't know the Constitution and he doesn't know the Bill of Rights. He ain't gonna respect your fucking rights nor your freedoms. He's the boss and you better shut the fuck up or he'll fucking tase you and sick a dog on you.
Who has worked there since 2022, and so I'm told he's gained quite the reputation already for being quite an authoritarian.
If you don't give me your name and stuff, I can put you in handcuffs.
You didn't ask me for my name. You said my ID. What's your name?
Officer Rippeon. If you keep it up, you're going to go in handcuffs.
I'm allowed to.
Did you hear that? Yeah, my name's Officer Rippeon. So, he's, it's like, since I had to give you my name, what's yours? You're going to have to go in handcuffs. It's crazy what he says to this guy. He says that he's resisting. He's resisting because he doesn't answer the questions fast enough. No, that's not resisting. That's called right to remain silent. I have the right to remain silent. I just yelled at you. You better hurry up and pull your wallet out and give me your damn money.
I ask you your name. I'm telling you I'm epileptic and your lights can give me a seizure.
Are you failing to provide your name?
No, did I say I was failing to provide my
name.
And what crime am I being suspected?
Hey there, everybody. I'm Officer Rippeon. I'm Officer Dippeon. Oh, Officer Dippeon. Yeah, I got a badge and a gun and I got me a watch. See, because I got this watch, that's why I'm allowed to be a fascist Nazi fucking piece of shit. This is a criminal. We are looking at a criminal who belongs in jail. This motherfucker belongs in jail. So let me just ask you a question. If you were to come up to a scene and you saw a guy who was wearing a hoodie and he stood up and he put the hoodie on and he was sitting at a business which looks like it could have just closed or was closing or is closed. You have a guy in a hoodie sitting right outside of a business around 10:15. Well, that motherfucker's a goddamn bank robber, and then he probably just raped some people, probably just murdered and raped people, and probably stole a whole bunch of fucking money, right? If you see a guy wearing a hoodie sitting outside a business, and he stood up and he put the hoodie on, the cop is going to say, it looks like you hid from me, you got behind the pillar. Well, people don't like you fucking police officers. You see a person and you just want to harass them until you essentially provoke a situation. Then you say, well, there, that's the reason I'm arresting you. But you had no reason to talk to me to begin with. Let's take a look at the incident in question.
Where he's questioning somebody is a detainment. Sometimes the courts find that those are consensual encounters. But where somebody is actually being detained, they are not free to leave. That triggers the Fourth Amendment. It's not yet an arrest. It's known as a Terry stop. For a lawful Terry stop, a police officer needs specific, objective facts, not just a hunch, indicating that some crime or criminal violation has occurred. A police officer
Frankly, I think the civil rights lawyer is being too generous to this Rippeon,
no hunches are allowed,
to this
no
rip-off
vague feelings or unsupported intuition, i.e. just
Biff. He's
looks
a Biffion.
suspicious.
He's a fucking
or
bully.
This was
You've
his
seen Marty
initial
McFly.
explanation to
This is a
Paul
fucking bully.
about why he was being arrested.
So I pull up, I see you sitting there, and then all of a sudden I'm pulling up, you're hiding behind the pillars.
of a closed business. How's that look, dude?
You say hiding, I just got up to put my hoodie on. That's all I did.
Do you really work here?
I swear to God I work. Look up what time CVS closes. It's 10 o'clock.
You got your ID card on you?
I didn't do anything wrong.
The moment.
Okay, so this is where the video begins. We just saw a little bit of the middle of the thing, okay? That was the middle of the thing, but you heard him, do you really work here? Well, shit, he didn't even know if he really works there. You thought that something was suspicious. The guy says, I work here. The manager is Mike. And you don't know one way or another. What do you got to do? Frisk him? I mean, what do you got to do? You got to reach up his rectum to see if, like, possibly he's got some damn cocaine? I mean, you could just continue to engage with somebody, engage, and then with the way he keeps threatening the resisting arrest shit, I ask you your name. In fact, I heard that maybe you have to give your name, but you don't have to give an ID. So Florida is a no ID state, like in terms of a police officer saying, give me your ID. If you're a motorist, if you're driving a vehicle, you got to have a license. But if you're just walking the streets, if you're just sitting on a damn bench, he's also getting a lift. So he ordered a lift. You think a fucking criminal motherfucker went into the goddamn motherfucking place, robbed the damn place, and then said, hey, Lyft, can you just, pick me up? And then, so he's just ordering the Uber driver to take him to all these different places to rob him and shit? I think it's possible, but he doesn't even question the Uber Lyft driver. He doesn't even question him. He doesn't even give a damn about the Lyft driver. What he hates about this Paul is that he perceives disrespect. You didn't respect my authority. You didn't respect my authority, and so I'm going to make up some bullshit so I could throw you in jail.
That the body cam footage turns on without the audio. Where the audio turns on, that is the exact moment that Officer Rippeon turns his body cam on.
What's going on with you?
So we don't hear what was said prior to the point that he turned that on. But what we do see is this 22-year-old Paul just sitting outside his place of employment, wearing a hoodie. We don't see Paul committing.
Yeah, he looks casual. He's got his arms all leaned back, just kind of chilling, just sitting on a damn bench. What fucking crime could you come up with? This is the fucking problem with police. This motherfucking Rippeon, dipshittion gives cops a bad name. He absolutely gives cops a bad name. This dipshitleon, he basically puts a turd on a stick, and he thinks he did something special. He puts a turd on a stick like a damn corn dog, like a motherfucking goddamn shish kebab. Hey, look at this. I just made a turd shish kebab. I put a turd on a stick. Okay, dipshitleon. All right, you dipshitleon. That's good for you. Yep, and he wouldn't give me the ID. He was resisting. He acted like he was just going to get up. He didn't commit a crime, so he thought he was just free to leave. But I'm a fucking police officer, and I get to yell at him and tell him what to do. And he wasn't shaking in his boots. He was being all cool, calm, and collected, and well, that made me nervous. Because usually I could yell at, people that are smaller and uneducated, poor people who don't have lawyers. I could just go around yelling at them, and they're shaking, and they're like, yes, sir, I'll do what you say, sir. But this guy didn't do that. He didn't shake in his boots.
Any crime, we don't see Paul doing anything suspicious. And once the audio turns on, we can hear that Officer Rippeon is extremely aggressive. He's escalating what should have been a consensual encounter where he's just alleviating some hunch or suspicion that he has, and he's escalating that immediately to a detainment. He's threatening to tase him. He's threatening to have his canine bite him. This guy really appears to have some anger issues.
What's going on with you? ID card. Something with your name on it.
Did you hear that? He goes, what's going on with you? And then he says, ID card. What? Is that your name? Hello, Mr. ID card. Something with your name on it. Is that your mother's maiden name? You just hyphenate it? Is that what you're trying to do? But immediately he's raising his fucking voice, right? So what are you going to do? Fucking immediately just start throwing punches? Just pull out your goddamn, flashlight? Or are you going to pull your piece out? I'm sitting on a fucking bench. And this is the way I got to be. I got to be calm, cool, collected. I'm a man, so if you want me to just, start shaking in my boots, that's not going to happen.
I didn't break the law, sir.
And all he said was, I didn't break the law, sir. He's being respectful. He's calling him sir. So he's showing manners. He's showing he's cool, calm, collected. He's showing manners. And then how does this piece of shit criminal, that we're looking through the eyes of a criminal. If you were, Trinde or Aragua, and you just want to, pick somebody up and just kidnap the person, well, this would be, all these things would be the way that it would be done.
6K93 Central?
That's my ride. I'm gonna go ahead and go.
No, you're not. Can you start me in our unit, please?
I didn't break any laws. I didn't break any laws, sir.
So he just called some other, another unit. All 69, 54, 69, 88, 69. He didn't just give me an ID card. That's resisting. I demanded an ID card. I yelled at him. And he didn't shake in his boots and give me the ID card. And then his fucking ride is there. You ever had a goddamn job? You ever had a shit job, a 9 to 5, you worked your 8-hour shift, it's 10 o'clock, you waited, you worked all God, that pisses me off even more when I think about it. Not only is this guy not a criminal person, not only is he not bank robbing, murdering, whatever, he's not committing any kind of felony, major crimes that is even worthy of a cop's attention whatsoever, but he just got off an 8-hour shift. He helped close the damn store. Mike just went home because he's the manager, and he had ordered a lift because he's trying to, just be Mr. Independent. So instead of, bumming a ride from a friend or from a colleague or from a coworker or family, he ordered a lift. And so he's, going to pay this other guy $10, and this guy's going to, make $10 fucking dollars, and then he drives his car all the way out there. So 2 working class people are going to get fucked the fuck over. Because of this fucking Nazi criminal fuck. This goddamn dipshit Leon. This officer dipshit Leon. He should be in fucking jail. He should definitely be stripped of his badge and his gun. And he should be put in jail. We do not need fucking pieces of shit on the streets with the goddamn... This motherfucker's got a gun. We're giving him awesome state power. The monopoly of violence. And he's got a license to kill. That's insane. That's fucking crazy.
Stop, dude. You can make an emergency, please. I got 1 resisting.
I got one resisting. He's saying, look, I didn't break any laws. I don't know what's going on with you. You're the one with the issues. You're being psychotic, Are you just insecure? You got a little tiny yin-yang. You got a little tiny, You're being small, you're being tiny, you're being insecure, you're yelling at dude, he didn't commit any damn crime, his fucking ride is there, can I just go and get in my ride? It's right there, I don't know what you think is going on or what, I work here. Like, how many times do I have to tell you I work here? That's enough information, my God, he works there, so you know where he's at 40 hours a motherfucking week. You want to know his home address? Then now you know his entire life story, okay? But that's not good enough for Officer, douchebag here.
Sir, I just thought I was going to do it.
Dude, you're gonna get tased.
Okay, I work here.
Turn around.
And look, he's got a red dot on his goddamn chest, and now he's like, turn around. Now he's fucking, ordering him to obey. And then, he's gonna do it, and, it's hard to say not to do it, but there is a possibility, if you was in Soviet Russia, if you were in, even corrupt countries, third world countries, the moment you obey, the moment the handcuff and the kidnapping and the arrest is taken away, nobody ever sees from you ever again. And so it is like, I saw this one guy got pulled over. He got pulled over, and then within, 30 seconds, the cop shot and murdered him. And I've seen that twice, actually. The guy got pulled over. He had like a speeding ticket or something outstanding. The other one had tolls. So one guy had, toll violations. The other one had sped a couple times. And then when they pulled him over, within fucking less than 30 seconds, dude's dead. Dude is dead. And so it's like, I don't know. You think as soon as you see the blue and red lights, you want to immediately pull over because, that's what you're supposed to do. And you would think a police officer would notice that. Okay, cool. We didn't have to, drive down a ways or anything, and he immediately, responded. So this is a lawful person. This is a good lawful person. You think a criminal is just going to immediately just kind of pull off to the side all casually? Makes me think that you should at least, take a breath. and not so much resist, but just kind of just analyze the situation. What was it that Chris Rock said after Will Smith? He's trying to process this. I need to process this. I actually heard this one woman who had a police officer that was behind her for like 15 minutes, and she just refused to pull over. And the reason why she refused to pull over, she knew she didn't do anything wrong. And then eventually, after 15 minutes, the police officer passes her. And then she said she felt bad because it was like, oh, he was trying to get to the scene of a crime or whatever. And here I'm thinking that he's, picking on me. But I like that. I think it's a good idea to get to a safe spot, to pull, don't pull off right on the shoulder immediately. Get to like a well-lit area and, a place where you could be parked and they might have to tow your car or whatever. So you don't want to just have your vehicle on the side of the road. You might, put it on the parking lot, and if it's a one-night thing, then you come back and then your car is there. If you immediately pull over, that could be the place that you die, So it's just, it's nerve-wracking to think that if you just obey, that everything would be all right. If you just obey, everything would just be okay. I don't think so. That's not a good rule. It's not a good rule of life.
Stand up and turn around. Put your hands behind your back. Don't move. Don't move. If you move, there's a canine in my car. You're going to get dog bit. Stop moving your hands!
You see how he's making it so much fucking bigger? Like, he's getting arrested, so that sucks as a man. You just have to stand up, put your hands behind your back, and let another man tie your hands up. I'm just going to go ahead and tie your hands up so I feel safe. Well, who's going to tie your hands up so I feel safe? What's good for the goose is good for the gander. We need to be fair about this shit. And then you heard the dog bark too. So he's like, I'm going to get a dog to bite you as he's putting handcuffs on him. Like, instead of just saying, dude turned his back, he put his hands behind his back, I'm putting the handcuffs on. He doesn't cool down. Him complying doesn't cool him down. It's not like, oh, okay, maybe I'm just, seeing things. I had this weird hunch that the guy with the hoodie, he's outside of CVS at 10:15. I thought you was a damn, goddamn Trende Aragua, gunslinging human trafficker. I just had a hunch, and, I've messed up. And when you messed up, it's never too late, if you're going down the wrong road, to turn back around. I feel like the moment that he's telling me that he works there, I'm apologizing, and I'm just like, all right, sorry, sir, have a good day. And then he would feel relieved because, you're not taking him to jail and shit. He's not going to get any, big lawsuit against you or some shit. And then instead of but some motherfuckers, it's like they want to protect their own ego. This motherfucker wants to protect, he didn't respect my authority. And then later on, he's going to spit. And he said, well, when I asked him for the ID, he didn't give me the idea. So, he's fucked. This is the way cops are talking. This is the professionals that we give a badge and a gun and a monopoly of power to do whatever the hell they want to do. That's crazy.
6K93 Central.
And then police dogs, that's a whole other conversation too. I've got a dog and I'm going to get him to bite you. For what? For me getting off of work and sitting on a fucking bench waiting for my goddamn ride? Now I'm going to get bitten by a dog, I'm going to get fucking handcuffs and get charges, and now the court system is going to rubber stamp the thing because clearly if you're fucking captured and kidnapped, then they just presume you're guilty, so now you're presumed guilty until you prove innocent. I mean, does he ever recover from this? Will this guy ever recover from this? He's got a crappy working class job, he was doing the right thing, but now he's got fucking charges, and then who knows if it's a felony and how big it is and how many court dates, and he's going to get a fine, and now it's on his record, and this is right outside the CVS, so is this a good look? Is he going to lose his job? If he loses his job, does he lose his apartment? So all because he got fucking arrested, is his life going to spiral out of control? Does anybody think about this shit?
Who is that? Is that person related to you?
No, that's why I live. Can you just let them know that it's $20.
Dude,
it's $40.
I asked. Okay, I pull up. Let's recap everything.
All right.
It's $40. It's $40. How much is minimum wage job in goddamn Florida? So let's just say he's making $10 an hour. He made $80, so he's spending half of what he made that day to get a Lyft driver to take him home. And because he was being Mr. Independent, not relying on anybody else, Because, you know, I'm sure other people live in the neighborhood, and you probably could have caught a ride from somebody, the colleagues, Mike, the supervisor. And then he's just asking him, can you just let him go, or let him know that it'll be a minute or whatever? Can you just communicate to this guy that, you know, you're wasting my time and all of our times, really? Can you just communicate to him? And then he's going to get all pissed off. Let's recap everything. Let me just repeat all the stuff that I'm going to repeat in my head and say it over and over again to justify my bullshit.
I pull up, I see you sitting there, and then all of a sudden I'm pulling up, you're hiding behind the pillars of a closed business. How's that look, dude?
Well, you said howdy, I just got up and
Dude,
took a
but
walk.
just look from my, it's a closed business.
Right.
I pull up, you're hiding behind the pillars. It looks...
He's saying, look from my perspective. Look from his perspective. You need to both look at it from each other's perspective.
strange. Does that look weird? Does that sound weird to you?
You said
And then listen,
okay.
and then I tell you you're detained.
Yeah.
And you're telling me you're gonna...
And then he's just carrying on. He's not even letting dude answer to what he just said. Now he's adding something else, okay? I looked up, you had a hoodie on, you're sitting outside a store. A plus B, that equals a goddamn giraffe fucking wearing a zebra costume hippopotamus. That's what I come up with.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
I understand.
Then you were resisting.
Okay. I apologize. You said howdy. I just got up to put my hoodie on. That's all I did.
Do you really work here?
And then he's trying to say, oh, I apologize. So, you know, is that a mission of guilt? No, it's almost, the motherfucker's under the gun right now. And so I got to defend myself, but I got to do it in such a way that I don't, you know, ruffle this, you know, Nancy boy's fucking goddamn feathers. So I apologize. You know, I had a hoodie and I was behind. Can you see? Can you understand? And then you resisted. No, he didn't. It's like I didn't commit a crime. You're acting fucking crazy. My ride just fucking got here. I just had an 8-hour shift. I just want to get in the car and go the fuck home. Well, you're not going to get to do that today.
I swear to God I work here. But what time is it? Can you tell me what time it is?
And then you hear how worried he is, right? He's like, are you serious that you work here? Are you serious that you work here? Then this fucking cop pulls up like a goddamned asshole.
What time is it?
What's your name?
Look up what time CVS closes. It's 10 o'clock.
You got your ID card on you?
I didn't do anything wrong, sir. I got off work and my manager just left. His name is Mike. I'm your ride. This is my ride. Just 1 second.
Nah. I'll talk to him for a second. Hey, you're good to go. He doesn't need a ride anymore. I'm gonna give him one.
Okay, well, who's going to pay me for my fucking gas money? Who's going to fucking, you know, recompensate me for having to get out of my goddamn house, drive around to pick up a $40 fucking thing, and now I'm not going to make a goddamn penny?
This video
Oh,
right
you
here
son of a
never
bitch.
really existed.
And then if you really thought that he was doing some crimes, you thought what he did
of
of breaking and entering? So he's thinking that this guy just did some breaking and entering and shit, and he's going to let his, you know, getaway driver go? This motherfucker is just sniffing his own farts, and he's loving it. This motherfucking dipshit Leon is a total pile of shit. It's a criminal with a uniform on, a fascist Nazi fuck. Good cops don't create the incidents. They don't escalate the motherfucker. A good cop, Serpico is a great cop. Andy Griffith is a great cop. Willis Russell is a great U.S. Marshal. A good cop is a wise, calm, patient, kind of an invisible man, like a wallflower. Like an invisible wallflower who sits and observes and drives over here, drives over there, sits and observes most of the day, follow up on leads, do some investigations. Unless there's videotape of the crime, the cop actually doesn't have any clue what had happened unless he's got personal knowledge of the thing. So if a cop is just driving around and just, you know, walking his beat, driving just driving in his little district, and he sees the crime, for himself, then he knows that the crime happened. So unless you got videotape or you have personal experience, you actually saw the damn thing yourself, then you don't technically know. So a good cop is sitting observing, driving around observing, and then when they come across the crime, then they spring into action. That's what we want our cops to do. We don't want our cops just to pick on some guy. It's like, hey, here's a guy sitting by himself, and I could just fuck with him and then get him into my car. I'm going to fucking kidnap him. I'm just going to kidnap him and then just, you know, keep on pushing him and just be like, hey, Buster Brown.
He called a lift or something, I think.
Yeah, on the left.
Yeah, I got one for him. So you're free to go.
Yeah.
You can cancel it or something. He might get arrested.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, I hear you. I just I'm trying to figure out what to cancel it. So.
Okay, I got you. You can hang out then. All right, I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, Mr. fucking just cool guy there now. Hey, I gotta sit here and just figure out how to cancel online or whatever. Oh, okay, that's fine. I'm just Mr. Cool Guy here. I'm just gonna be screwing over this guy. If that was the getaway driver, if that's his buddy, that's a friend, fucking shit. It sucks being fucking poor, working class. If you were middle class, you could just get off of work and get into your car and then drive the fuck home. But because he's, working class, he's at a fucking job, has to get a fucking taxi just to go fucking, back and forth and shit. And now he's getting fucking arrested. It's more expensive to be poor.
So was his initial stop and therefore the entire incident justified at the inception?
No,
Reasonable
not at all.
suspicion that he is claiming he observed Paul, 1, wearing a hoodie, 2, standing outside what he believed to be a closed business. And
So, some businesses close during lunch hour. So if I just see a person wearing some clothes I don't like, a hoodie, and then they're hiding behind a pillar or standing behind a pillar. So people are walking on that sidewalk all the time. I could just show up to that business from 10 o'clock until 6 o'clock, and if somebody's there early or somebody's there late, they're wearing a hoodie, and they're just standing outside the damn building automatically. That's so stupid. If you thought it was a hunch, you talked to the person, he said he worked there, fucking lay off of him. Try to find out if he actually does work there. Apologize, and then, kick yourself because you fucked with an innocent man. The whole thing with Blackstone's ratio is we would rather see 10 guilty people go free than to throw one innocent person in jail. You don't want to throw one innocent person in jail. That's the whole beyond a reasonable doubt. He's presumed to be innocent, and you're going to have to prove this case beyond a reasonable doubt. Well, he was resisting. Motherfucker, you had no reason to be talking to him to begin with, resisting, because he didn't fucking pop an ID out, and he didn't have an ID, or he didn't have, his card or whatever. And because he didn't do it immediately, hey, you better give me your shoe. Give you your shoe. What for? Cause I wanna see if the shoes, if you got drugs in it. Give me a fucking break,
And 3,
bro.
he claims that he observed him hide behind a pillar, allegedly, though Paul claims that he was just putting on his hoodie. Let's just accept for a moment that does qualify as reasonable suspicion. We can see that the real reason for the arrest was the allegation that Paul failed to present his ID when ordered to.
No, he's gonna learn, fortunately, the hard way. So he wouldn't fucking lie to himself. So yeah, he's.
Yeah, see? Yeah, good fucking guy. Yeah, I appreciate you. Sure, yeah, fucking great fucking, there's a good Christian person right there. Yeah, it's a good moral, legal, yeah, I'm sure he's got a coherent, comprehensive theory of morals and laws. I'm sure he thinks about all these things and about what's fair and what's not fair. I told him to give me an ID. He didn't immediately give him an ID, so he's fucked. Fuck his life. And he spits too, like a goddamn, barbarian, like a beastly fucking barbarian. You got a barbarian wearing a badge, so you got an out-of-control psychopath who's got unlimited absolute power. He's absolutely corrupt. When I compare them just to, like, street criminals, they might shoot a person here or there and just kind of rob them, like, real quick or something. In some respects, like, this is worse.
However, a guy sitting outside of CVS in the state of Florida has no obligation to carry any sort of government ID on him. He had not been driving a vehicle. He never failed to alleviate the officer's suspicions about maybe he's up to no good. In fact, he did alleviate those suspicions.
I got one resisting.
I work here, sir. I just got off work. Okay, I work here.
Turn around.
I work.
Stand up and turn around.
Okay, I work here, sir.
Put your hands behind your back. Don't.
See, he's sitting there yelling at him and acting all fucking crazy, and it's like, I am rightly allowed to be here. I am justified in what I am doing. You're the one being fucking crazy right now. You are being so fucking nuts. If I was to go to the police station and I saw you sitting outside the police station and I thought you did something weird, can I just automatically pull a taser out and start pointing it at you and say I'm going to sick a fucking dog on you? I'm going to sick a dog on you. I'm going to fucking taser you. I'm going to tell you that you're resisting because you didn't give me your ID the moment I raised my fucking voice and said, give me your ID. You need to learn how to treat people, This guy was respectful, so if you would have just, said to him, hey, you got an ID, can I take a look at your ID? He might have, allowed you to do it. But you fucking yelling at him and shit, it's like you're trying to provoke dude. It's like you're trying to provoke dude so that way, even if you had no reason to arrest him, hopefully, by you being a piece of shit, you'll create a reason.
Don't move.
You say hiding, I just got up to put my hoodie on. That's all I did.
Do you really work here?
I swear to God I work here. But what time is it? Can you tell me what time it is? Just tell me what time it is. I get it.
What's your name?
Look up what time CVS closes. Look up what time CVS closes. It's 10 o'clock.
You got your ID card on you?
I didn't do anything wrong, sir.